Tito, so we will start the shop tour. তো আমরা যাচ্ছি নিচে. We're going downstairs. So this is my basement. So we just came down the stairs. So this is basically the shop. The one by one table saw. Really mainstay of the shop. This is really the most important tool that I own. The table saw is connected to a dust collector there in the back with ports in there. The dust collector feeds into my two other really important tools. This is a bandsaw. This is a 18-inch bandsaw which I use to resaw boards, and then this is a jointer, and the jointer is to make things perpendicular and parallel. So that's a jointer. Our bandsaw, I made a small desk here for me to sit and design my plans. I was cleaning this plane that I got for Christmas this year. Behind me is sort of some shelving that I put up to store all my random miscellaneous things. Lots of power tools here. So a couple of sanders, a couple of drills, circular saw, router, etc., etc. And then I have an assortment of nails and screws. So these are organized in these 3 bins. Then I have a bunch of hand planes that I have bought for cheap here and there with the intention of restoring them, and just lots of miscellaneous storage. Then one of the tools I have here, I have 2 of these. So this is actually a mortiser, hollow chisel mortiser used to make square holes. What else? I showed you the dust collector. This is my tool wall. I have all my chisels here, some of my saws, and some of my marking equipment, a couple of drills. There's a tool wall I just recently put up. Then I have a simple cheap workbench, which is not very good. It's a little flimsy, so I need to make a better workbench for myself. So that's for the future. This is one of my newer additions into the shop. This is my lathe. You'll see that I was trying to turn a knob for the hand plane. So this is, not so bad, but I need to get better at it. So this is a variable speed lathe. I built a tool holder for all my lathe tools, and I had to buy a grinder to sharpen all my lathe tools. Of course, when you're using a lathe, you are supposed to wear a face shield. So I have a face shield to protect myself. A couple of other miscellaneous chucks, etc., are just sitting here. This is a vintage piece of machinery I got not too long ago. I think right around Christmas time. It's a big 6-inch belt sander where the motor sits underneath. I think this is from the 50s. Still works great. So I just polished it up, etc. Then this is a place for miscellaneous storage. Right, these are the maple boards I just joined for my project that I'm working on. Right, so these maple boards are actually here. Behind there is a collection of my sandpapers. Another tool, the miter saw. Miter saw, of course, or a chop saw used to just cut things perpendicular There is I built a table so that I can place things on it. I've been trying to make the dust collection a little better, and I connect my vacuum, my shop vac, to the port here to facilitate dust collection. One of the other really important tools of my shop is a planer. The planer is on a planer table which I built. It's basically the purpose of a planer is to, of course, a plain boards. Of course, a 4-inch sander and a grinder with flywheel and like a buffing wheel. This another thing is a router table. So what is cool is, and this is my router, and the thing is actually underneath here, right? So this actually comes. So this is the router. It sits in here. There's a fence, adjustable fence, and there's a dust port, so I can suck the dust while I'm routing. Right? So that is the router table. Another really cool thing is, my shop has its own electrical panel, and from this panel, I just keep running more and more wires for more and more plug points I need. You will see there's a bunch of lighting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Lots of lights. All of these lights I put up by myself. Bought these lights for real cheap from this guy. What else can I show you? I have another mortiser that is just sitting here. I need to make a table for this, but this is a really handy machine for making square holes. Then there is some general storage here. This is our house heater. This is what generates heat. That's the geyser, right? So geyser there are these 3 big slabs of walnut that my father-in-law brought for me. So I have those. I have some pipe clamps, storage. Then this is what I call my assembly bench. So when I have a really big project, I can sort of assemble it here. Lastly, I have some wood storage. So that brown piece is walnut. The things on the bottom are sort of like square pieces of maple, and everything else is, the stuff on the top is maple. The stuff actually in the bottom is actually cherry. And then there is some more wood that I have here, which father-in-law brought for me. Those dark ones in the back are all walnut, right? These 2 are our oil tanks, and of course this is the back of that storage place. These blades are all circular things, are all bandsaw blades, right? So I actually got a bunch of bandsaw blades from the guy I bought the bandsaw. So that's actually pretty good, right? So some other miscellaneous storage, some other random stuff. So I think that's pretty much it. The last thing I forgot is one of the newer things I have in my shop now is an air compressor. So I just put the air compressor here. The air compressor has its own hose that goes up, and it sort of feeds air to me from here. So I can just connect my thing, that nozzle that gives me a compressed air. The air compressor has its own switch, and so I can turn on the switch to start the air compressor on. I think that's pretty much it. That pretty much is my shop tour.